Then we have folk tale. A folk tale is a mythical story which has no known author and has been passed down through history by word of mouth. It often features fantastic elements that couldn't happen in our world. There are so many folk tales in our oral tradition. If you look at the Nigerian oral tradition or African oral tradition, we have so many folk tales. We can look at, we have the story of Anansewa, we have, there are just so many of them. Why the tortoise has a rough shell and all that. All these are folk tales. Now, these stories have no known author. There is nobody that claims the ownership of these stories because these stories were handed down from one generation to another and they were not written. It is just in recent times that these stories were written, were penned down or documented. But in the past, in the olden days, there was no written form of literature. So these stories in Africa were just passed down from one generation to another. Now you know that because these stories are passed down from one generation to another, there seems to be some tweaks in passing them down. So the version of these stories change from one location, from one geographical location to another. So we can have a particular folktale, but it may not be the same in Enugu or Anambra. So the versions of these stories may change or vary. But one thing remains that there are folk tales in our oral African tradition. Then another one, we have fable. A fable is a short, unreal story in which animals are made to talk and dialogue as if they were human beings. There are different types, there are different examples of fables. One example of a fable is George Orwell's Animal Farm. If you have watched the animation, you will see that in that movie or in the animation, we have animals that talk and dialogue as if they are human beings. Now, fables are mostly used or sometimes used to ridicule the society, to bring out the ills of a society. Okay, so we can say that fable is somehow a form of satire. Then we also have allegory. Allegory is a story in which abstract ideas are used as characters. Abstract ideas such as love, pride, anger, and all whatnot. There are different examples of literary works where abstract ideas are used as characters. An example here is, this is not a prose work, this is a drama. That is Dr. Faustus by Christopher Marlowe. In this work of literature, you will see abstract ideas such as sloth, such as anger, lust, being used as characters in the play. So I suggest you go and read it.